Hanging from a Wire by Bethany Curley, Sophie Sears, and Yvonne Clunky. How to start and change a person. How will pulling this gigantic feat change Philippe Petit, and how does the author translate this in the film? The director, Manon Wire, uses very specific film techniques, as well as the inclusion of certain details throughout the movie. This then changes how the audience views Philippe Petit throughout the film. The director utilizes film techniques in order to alter the audience's perception of Philippe Petit. The incorporation of whimsical music styles shapes how the audience feels about the protagonist. During Philippe's walk in Notre Dame, the author utilizes uplifting and powerful music in the background. That music and how it's so uplifting makes us, as the audience, root for him. The combination of the walk and how it's dangerous and the music makes us want Philippe to succeed even more. The author chose that specific piece. He wants us to root for him. He wants us to think of Philippe as an underdog. Camera work throughout the film also shapes our perception of Philippe. While walking between the towers, the author chose to include an interview with one of the police officers that arrived on the scene during his walk.
And upon seeing us, he started to smile and laugh.
The author decides to include this and include Philippe laughing at the police officers in order for us to feel uneasy about Philippe and his choices. By Philippe laughing and basically putting on a show for the officers, we get the idea that he doesn't really care about what happens to himself or his friends who are standing by the officers and about to get arrested. This is just the beginning of a series of events that makes us alter our thoughts and opinions on Philippe. Because the director includes certain details in the film, the audience's perception of the protagonist is constantly changing throughout the documentary. Throughout the whole film, the audience clearly sees Philippe's friends helping him accomplish his dream. His friends knew that they weren't going to get any recognition or fame by them helping Philippe. They just helped him because Philippe was their best friend. After completing his walk, Philippe quickly realizes what fame and stardom can give you, and he disregards his friends. His friends get banned from the United States, and Philippe gets told to put on a show and they'll forget that this whole event ever happened. By the author including that scene, our perception of Philippe changes, and we begin to not root for him, and we begin to think that he's just a terrible person. After the audience sees Philippe abandon his friends, they also see him cheat on Annie. Throughout the whole film, we get to watch Philippe and Annie's relationship grow. From the beginning, she states that it is her job to support and encourage him, and that she did it gladly because she was in love with him. She dropped everything and flew to him from Paris just because he said he needed her. All that gets halted the minute Philippe decides to cheat on Annie. By this point, we already think he is a terrible person for leaving his friends, and now he does this to Annie. Our perception again quickly changes, and we certainly don't root for him. We don't think he's an underdog. We think he's just human and doesn't deserve all the stardom that he is receiving. Our perception and opinions about Philippe change throughout the film. From the beginning, and us rooting for him, and then in the end, thinking that he's just a human. The author does this with camera work along with music and the inclusion of certain details. By the end of the film, our perception is totally different than what it was beginning. And as Steve Young states, perception is reality. If you are perceived to be something, you might as well be it, because that's the truth in people's minds.